Magic Makers. I'm Mom Virella.
And I'm CJ Peterson. Welcome to Magic Making Mischief. For those who are watching, we are pre-recording. We are not ignoring you. We have a special guest today, Alyson Leigh Rosenfeld, and we'll get to her in just a second. In the meantime, get your wands to the ready because we solemnly swear we're up to no good. And speaking of up to no good, as I said, we have Ms. Alyson Leigh Rosenfeld. You may know her from characters like Strawberry Shortcake and Polly Pocket, which I grew up with. Yay! She has like a ton of characters that she is, which I found out when I went to her website. So, Ms. Alyson, thank you so much for joining us today.
It is my pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Mombi is the one who found you. Mombi, would you like to explain how you ran across her?
Yes, we met last year's Chemo Hawaii, which actually just passed last month. So it's a great anime convention. And I love that they actually started incorporating some of the American voice acting stuff too. I know that you also did the female Pikachu though, so you've done some anime too.
Yes, lots of anime.
Yes, but you actually done a number of characters. I don't think you had a final count last year. So
no, it is innumerable is the answer. But yeah, on Pokemon in particular, a lot of people know me as Nurse Joy, or as Bonnie, or Sophocles, or the innumerable number of creatures that I am on the show as well.
Funny enough, I did not realize that there was distinctly like a female Pikachu. And what was the distinction? You told me the distinction between them that you can tell.
So female Pikachu have heart-shaped tails as opposed to just like the lightning bolt that the male ones have. You learn about Pokemon biology with me. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Now, what are some of your other characters that you've done?
On Pokemon or just in general? So I've been on Yu-Gi-Oh! People know me as Rio Castle. I'm also Grace and Gloria Tyler, Riley, Allie, Queen, Yubel. People also may know me from Promare, which is an anime feature film that was by Studio Trigger. I was Aina in Promare. I'm in a whole bunch of Gundams, including G-Quux, which is the newest one that just had its premiere sometime in the last month. Yeah, a lot. She's booked and busy.
If you head over to her website, which is www.alysonleighrosenfeld.com, that's ALYSONLEIGHROSENFELD.com, and you go under some of those tabs, you can actually see them. She has them scrolling across, and if you check out the short that I did, some of those characters are actually on there as well. You'd be surprised. There's a lot.
There's a lot. Yeah.
Definitely a lot. And that little YouTube thumbnail that I have up, there's a bunch of characters on there. They're all her.
Yeah. And that was actually made by this fantastic animator named Gabby Rodea, who we somehow connected on the internet when he was just a young wannabe, I like to draw stuff. And now he works for Disney, which is super awesome. Yeah.
That is
that's awesome.
Yeah, super cool.
So how did you get started in it?
You both said at the same time. One more time.
How did you get started?
So I have always been a performer. If you ask my mom, she would say I came out of the womb singing. I grew up doing musical theater, and I really knew that I wanted to be an actor forever and always. So I went to NYU Tisch for acting for college. And my senior year, I took a voiceover class, and my teacher was very encouraging and was like, I think you should record a demo and see what happens. I think you could really work in voiceover. And I was like, okay. And I did, and very fortunately started booking work pretty quickly. I definitely then thought that I would be on Broadway and do voiceover stuff on the side. And it's sort of the opposite, where I say, voiceover pays for my theater habit at this point. But my heart is still very much, I'm a musical theater girly through and through. So that is always comes back to that for me. Yeah.
Got it. So what type of cons and stuff do you do? What do you have coming up?
Oh boy. I have some store signings. I have some anime cons. I have some pop culture cons, some Comic Cons. I always have, what's upcoming on my website and on social media. So if anybody's like, where can I meet her? It's always good to check those things out and see where we can hang out.
Gotcha.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, okay, with all the characters you've done, can you pick a favorite? That's always a tough question.
I know it's like picking my babies, you know. I, my usual answer and the one that feels true today is Bonnie from Pokemon. She is a character that I voiced for the longest amount of time. She is a character that I really felt emotionally connected to, and bringing it all back to musical theater, I got to sing to save the world as Bonnie on Pokemon. So that was one of the most fun things I've ever gotten to do.
Got it. Do you have any
Yeah.
fun stories from your voice acting or from the Broadway?
Oh yeah, lots of fun stories. One of the most fun moments of my career was when Pokemon Go first came out.
Mhm.
I live in New York City, and you would just be walking around and everybody would be doing this, and you would just watch people and like communities that would form. People, you know, you'd watch whole families like catching Pokemon together in Central Park, and then you'd hear somebody like Snorlax and like running to the lake to like all try to catch a Snorlax at the same time. And we were in the middle of Pokemon XY when that came out, and we did the whole cast. We did Otakon together, and I have never felt like more of a rock star than doing Otakon the summer that Pokemon Go came out. We would just like thousands of people cheering and wanting to like gym battle us on Pokemon Go. It was a real trip. That was really awesome.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah,
awesome. I remember
yeah,
when that came out. It was a crazy time because it was new, the whole system. Like it was a whole new thing to do. And my kids love
yeah.
Pokemon, so they were like, "Can we do it?" I'm like, "Hold on, let's make sure you're safe, okay? No walking
Right?
off, in the middle of traffic or something
Yes,
insane, please." There was
yes.
some weirdness to start off. They had to make sure the Pokemon stayed in safer places for
I
people.
truly, yeah. Yeah, I have
There's
a
some
5-year-old, and he's just started to be like, "Ooh, can I play Pokemon Go?" And I'm like, "I guess so." But, I've got like a full Pokédex already because when it first came out, I played it a lot, and he's like, "Oh, but I want to be catching stuff." And yeah, I wish they would keep it to like in the playground so he could just be running around in
Right.
the playground
It's
catching
nice though
stuff.
that they encourage them to like walk around and get
For sure.
exercise though. That's one of the
Yeah,
things like we
yeah.
have a track that we walk and so my son will be like, hold on, I gotta get my Pokemon app. It's like catch them all.
somebody told us we had like 2 of them in our yard one time, and I'm like, "Oh, really? Okay, that's interesting." And they're like, "Yeah, they're there and there," and I'm like,
All right.
"Enjoy."
Go get them. Oh my gosh.
I'm like,
So
because I had no idea. So I'm like, okay, you have some pigmented things in our yard. Okay.
that's funny. Okay, so this is a question that comes up periodically with people who've done voice acting in anime. Are you an anime fan before you started voice acting in it? And what was the one that you did like whenever you did become an anime fan though?
Okay, so there's two answers to this. One is that I am not somebody who grew up watching Pokemon. So I was not like a fangirl of the franchise before. I was like an actor who knew it was a thing and was super excited to like audition for it, but I wasn't like, oh my God, Pikachu. I wasn't one of those. But the flip side of that is I loved Sailor Moon growing up. Like there were definitely some things that I like was anime adjacent to at the very least. And then my husband is very into anime. So once it became my career, he was like, I think you should be watching these, A, because they're really good, and B, because it's great research for you for your career. So we started to watch a lot. And now I can like wholeheartedly say that I am an anime fan. Yeah.
Yes.
So which one's your favorite?
Oh my God. Okay, we just finished oh God, my brain. Um what is it called? She's the like mage who's on the journey with the like her like with an F. My brain. It's on Netflix. She's a mage who's like super old but looks really young, and she has her with Fire. No, not Fire. Oh my God, my brain.
Hold on.
Anyway,
Let's see
yeah,
if I can.
please help me out.
I'm not thinking like there's a few that are in that range though, so I'm like,
Yeah. Jordan Cruz is the male lead in the show, if that is helpful. But
okay, that actually might help.
yeah, hang on. Now I'm gonna like,
Hold on. Now
yeah.
I've got to figure this out. And hold on, we don't want to go dead silent here.
No,
Hold on.
no.
Okay, so what's your fun story from Broadway?
Oh, well, I have not been on Broadway yet, but I've done lots of off Broadway and other musical theater.
Story from off Broadway.
Um, yeah. So I was in a production of The Baker's Wife a few years ago, and there's a whole thing in the musical about them having this pet cat, and the cat runs away, and the woman, spoiler alert, runs away, and then she comes back, and the cat eventually comes back. But of course, we didn't have a real cat on stage, so we had this stuffed cat named Pom Pom, who people would like hide around the stage at random places, and you would just see like this little cat puppet just peeking out of places it shouldn't have been and trying not to break. It's like kind of serious musicale, but yeah, that was pretty fun and funny.
Okay, wait, is it this one? Hold on.
Yes.
Okay.
Freerin. I was like, Freerin. Oh my god, I can't believe my brain.
There's
Apologies to everyone.
Magic anime, and I'm like, oh Lord, there's like 50.
I know.
So I should have known better.
Yeah, Freerin, my brain. But it's I highly recommend if you have not watched it. It's really beautifully acted, beautifully animated, like a unique take on like a hero's journey. It's fantastic. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh.
So go ahead.
I was gonna say, okay, for the Pikachu fans, can you do the voice for us?
I'm so sorry. That is something that I can't do.
Oh, no worries, no worries. I
Yeah,
know
I am
sometimes
so
it's
sorry.
a sensitive topic. No worries.
Yeah.
That's my husband likes to try to do an imitation of it, but my kids tell
Yeah.
me all the time, they're like, you sound like Stitch.
Yeah. It's it's funny, the Pokemon Company are a wonderful company, and I'm so fortunate to work with them. And they really have us under lock and key when it comes to the likenesses that they are the owners of, So
No worries.
yeah.
For people listening who are fans, though, yeah, to clarify that, I've been to panels before where they've asked them to use a voice, and they've said similar things that they can't do it. And sometimes people get upset, but it's like that's not y'all's fault. That is a company thing, and y'all agree
Yeah.
to that whenever you do the voice. So don't get upset with voice actors if they can't do the voice you want them to do, because sometimes that is in the contract. They cannot do
Yeah.
that. So
And listen, like we actors, sorry?
Is there one that you can do?
I guess I could do like strawberry shortcake for you.
Oh, cool. Go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, Orange! Are you releasing a new single or something? Because you've got a lot
Oh, cool.
that was I get to raise my daughter on strawberry shortcake and Polly Pocket. I was surprised how obsessed she became with Polly Pocket because I don't remember it being a cartoon when I was younger that I watched,
Yeah,
but she
yeah.
like got so into it.
Yeah,
She wanted a moped at one point.
That's the one that I had the toys growing up of Polly Pocket. I loved Polly Pocket, so when I booked that, I was so fangirly excited about it. But yeah, it wasn't a cartoon for me either growing up. It I think it really started in the last like 15 years, but yeah.
Strawberry shortcake wasn't one of mine growing up. But I did end up with I think lemon meringue doll was the one I had. I wanted strawberry, but I got lemon meringue.
Yeah.
Her Funko strawberries, not lemon meringues, is like pretty rare. Like people get very excited when they see that I have some to like sign at cons and stuff. But the coolest thing about her is that she smells like the old school toy did. Like she smells like strawberries, which is a very cool detail that they put in.
Is cool.
Yeah.
That brings back memories every time. Like that is so distinct for that.
I know. I'm like, I don't know what forever chemical they were using in the 80s to make it still smell like strawberries, but sure, it's fine.
Sure.
That is definitely an 80s thing. It's like certain things from the 80s, like Strawberry Shortcake, the Cabbage Patch Kids. There are certain things, Holly Hobby, where it's like you definitely know that's an 80s thing. But
Oh,
the fact
yeah.
that some of them still smell is kind of scary.
Yeah.
That-
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like finding a
But we're
twin.
all fine. Everything's fine.
I'm sure inhaling that all of our lives has been not a
Yeah.
problem at all.
No, it's all
Nothing
fine.
wrong
We're
with
going to be fine.
It's like finding the scratch and sniff markers from the 80s and they still smell good. It's all good. We're still okay. We're okay.
Yeah.
We're the survivors of the 80s. We're good. It's all good. We're okay. Are you okay, Mombi?
Yeah, sorry, the dogs started making a little noise in the background here. I have fur babies galore. We have 3. All different shapes, sizes.
Okay.
We go from large to extra small in our house. Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody has to have their own. You can't like have, a dog that you share. We all have our own. So, it's a
Got
thing. I don't know.
So, when it comes to your characters, do you have a certain ritual that you do beforehand before you go in?
That's a great question. So I definitely always do vocal warm-ups so that I am ready to use my full range because oftentimes I'm not sure what it is that's going to be asked of me that particular day in the studio. Because more often than not, I haven't seen the script ahead of time. So I really will only know once I get into the booth what I have in store for that day. So without knowing if it's going to be super emotional or really high energy or, there's just no knowing. So I always just try to make sure that I am as vocally and physically warm as possible to just be ready to play.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Has there ever been a challenging moment where, because whenever you do the voice of a character, you have to do everything in that character's bubble of their voice and how they sound. Has there ever been a line or a moment where you had a character that it was challenging to stick in their emotions, what you have?
That's a great question. I mean, there have been characters who like what they start as and what they become are so different that it's like, do I even have any like, hints of what they originally were? Like there's a French anime style cartoon I'm in called Last Man, where I'm this 13-year-old pretty innocent girl who, spoiler alert, is actually kind of like a demon king inside of her. So there were moments where she would just become the really scary, full throttle, like terrifying thing. And it was still my voice. And I was like, do we have like any of the, like her breathy, innocent little girl like quality? Or it's like, nope, that's just gone. Just go like full throttle into like scary demon land. Yeah. But it is the kind of thing that when we would do that, we would save that for the end of the session because you're going to do some things that are not the safest vocally and you just you can't like blow it all out and then expect to be able to go back in the other direction on the
Right.
on a dime. Yeah.
So how do you protect your voice? I mean, if you're blowing it out at the end, I mean, you've got a session probably the next day or two.
Yeah. So I am usually pretty careful. I especially like in an audition setting, let's say I make a choice and I'm like, ooh, that already didn't feel so good. I'll be like, I don't think that's something that's sustainable. Let me try something else. Video games, anime where there's some like big screamy something, like once in a blue moon, you really do gotta just go full throttle for it. But more often than not, I will, because I'm a singer, I will belt, meaning like sing in like a very, big and loud way, but that is still safe for my voice. And most of the time I can get away with that. But if there's really like, it really requires like blood curdling, go all outness, I will do cool downs. I will like vocal cool downs afterwards. So, like, you do a warm up so you can ramp up. And then afterwards, it's like, all right, let's bring it back to like where I normally am. and then often will stay pretty quiet for the rest of the day as much as possible after those kinds of really intense vocal sessions.
Gotcha. So you don't
Yeah.
like fiddle with anything or honey tea or anything like that?
No, I'm somebody who's not super sensitive to that to temperatures, and I mean I'm always hydrating, but the fun fact is that tea is actually an astringent, so it dries you out. So honey, wonderful, great, coats you like yes, but tea I try to avoid as much as possible. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have any advice for somebody who wants to get into voice acting?
I do. So, voice acting is first and foremost acting. So, my number one biggest piece of advice is to get in an acting class, not a voice acting class, an acting class. Get in a room with other people, learn how to take direction, how to listen to a teacher or a director, how to collaborate with other people, how to listen and make choices with your full body, not just, you're not a head separated from the rest of you making funny voices. Because the tools that I have in my toolbox from being a theater actor are invaluable. They are so useful for crafting characters, for beat changes, for making choices in a scene, for, having real moments with scene partners. And it's stuff that often gets skipped over if you just go right to a voice acting class. I think that a voice acting class is like the cherry on top. Like once you have the basics, then you can put those additional skills on top of it to know what to do in front of a microphone and auditioning and all of that. Because of course you need those skills too, but the first and most important thing is you're an actor. Take an acting class.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Mom, did you have any further questions?
Actually, yeah. So how did you end up with some of the roles that you got though? I know, like, did you aim for them or were there open auditions in general? Because some of these are such iconic characters too. And it's as much as I love anime, it's like I will admit the Strawberry Shortcake and Polly Pocket were the ones that stood out when I first saw your lineup, and I'm like, oh my gosh, wait, what?
Yeah, the answer for virtually all of the above is auditions. So the one that was really the most like, right place, right time was the very first role I got being on Pokemon. I had one of the very first things I booked from my demo right out of college was this audiobook series in Princeton, New Jersey. And one of the other actors happened to be Tom Wayland, who was the director of Pokemon at the time. There was a part that he needed to voice match to recast. Somebody had moved to LA and they were no longer on the show. And he was like, hey, I like what you're doing. I think you could do a good job with this. Can you come audition for it? And I did. And I very fortunately booked that. I didn't overnight become a, full-time voice actor. I was still like working in restaurants for a long time and doing other, side hustles. But eventually, through more auditions, I was able to, book enough work that I am very fortunate to be able to say that I'm a full-time voice actor.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know that's the goal for a lot of people who are trying to build to that point too, is to become that where they can do it full time and make that what their focus is. And it starts off as the side gig, as
Yeah.
the dream job, but like you have your day job that you stick with the longest time. And that's something like I always say, everybody's got their day job because I know people who are in the music industry and all kinds of different things. And I'm like, I know that we have the dream and we're aiming for it, but it's like
Yeah.
the day job is just how we get from point A to point B
I
sometimes.
know.
And
Yeah.
And
And
it's a thing.
I
yeah,
think honestly, it has become even harder in the last few years. I think especially since COVID, where the barrier to entry is just it feels higher, and there is no shame and no shade in having a day job because we all got to eat.
Right?
Yeah,
Honestly.
yeah.
so we have a few minutes left. Is there anything you'd like to add?
Um, Let's see. Yeah. So I will be at a whole bunch of Comic Cons this summer and through the fall. The full list of them is on my website and on Instagram. There are some new, some returning friends from former anime shows that will be coming back very soon, which is very exciting. And the latest thing that people can check out is Gundam G-Quux, which is now streaming. I believe all episodes are now streaming.
Oh,
Awesome.
nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I know that you do have a busy schedule, so
Yes, thank
I
you.
know are
Thank you
trying
both for having me.
to actually schedule this. So we
I
really
know.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
I know it was difficult. So we really appreciate it. Next week we're gonna have Delta H. So
Well,
make sure.
shoot.
And then to learn more about Alyson and her characters and what she has going on, make sure to check out her website at www.alysonleighrosefeld.com and check it out. In the meantime, Mobby, you want to send us out?
Awesome. So yes, I have a couple things coming up before that I want to mention. So this weekend, I am going on a trip to celebrate my daughter's birthday, Mio, and we're
Yay.
going to go check out Epic Universe at Universal Studios. So we're just going to go for one day, and it's a really special thing, though. So I'll be sharing out stuff from that. And then, of course, like she said, we got Delta HCon coming on the podcast, but then the 2 weeks will be actual Delta HCon. The event is happening, so I'm going to go for the first time, and I hope to see some of you guys there. So
It's a very
hopefully I'll
fun
have some of my
show.
tags.
Make sure to catch us to get our tags, and make sure when you get off Forum that you find me at the Comic-Con so I can get you your bags, swag bags.
Swag bags, bag swag. And that's it. All right, and smash that thumbs up, guys, before you go.
Our pajama party is at the end of the month. 1 hour long. Did you just hit the wall?
I hit the wall. I wanted the wall.
Don't want the wall. You're
the podcast.
into. Get your wines ready, Mommy.
All right. Make sure you smash that thumbs up before you go, guys. Awesome. Share this out so that people can check out some of the awesome stuff that Alyson's done. Thank you so much for joining us again.
Yay.
And make sure y'all check out her website, her social media to see what she's got coming up. And follow CJ Peterson on TikTok and YouTube, Mommy Rilla, as well as our co-hostess who's not here with us today, CJ, is well, technically this is pre-recorded, so CJ's actually doing something too today. But Yukita Cosplay on Instagram, and follow them geeks on YouTube. So till next time, you guys, mischief managed. Bye.